Welcome to the Big Red Machine podcast. I am your host, Jonah. I am 16 years old. I am from Indiana, and I'm a huge Reds fan. I've been a fan for the last few years. I became a fan because my father was a big fan when he was a kid. Yeah. All right. So every week on the Big Red Machine podcast, we will have weekly awards. Those will include the MVP, the Gold Glove, the Cy Young, and the Reliever of the Week. We will also give the team a weekly grade from the scale of A+ being the best to F being the worst. And then we will also give away awards for the most surprising and the most disappointing players for the week. So this week we're not just going to do this past week's like we will normal weeks. We will do the entire season since I'm starting mid-season right now. So far this year, the team MVP has been Eugenio Suarez. He is batting .277 on the year. He's got 14 home runs, 40 RBIs. And I mean, the last 7 games, he has just been killing the ball. I mean, he's got his average is .417. He's got a .469 on base percentage. He's got a .542 slugging percentage. And I mean, he's just killing the ball the last 7 games. After that early season kind of cold, I guess you could say cold streak for the entire offense, Suarez is really showing why he's probably the best hitter on this team right now. Next award that we have is Gold Glove, and that's going to go to Yasiel Puig. For anybody that watches the Reds consistently, knows that Yasiel Puig has made a number of just unbelievable plays so far this year. Game saving, just fantastic. Just any type of plays, like that play he had a couple weeks ago where he jumped over the wall, pulled back that foul ball down the right field line. Like, that's just, it's like Billy Hamilton out in right field, to be honest. And then up next, we have the Cy Young so far this year. Has been Luis Castillo. He's got 12 starts. He's got a 5-1 record. He's got a 2.45 ERA. He's got 69.2 innings pitched, 82 strikeouts in those 69 innings pitched, and a 1.11 whip. He's just dominated. And I mean, that ERA is his last couple times out. He's really gotten into trouble, giving up a lot of runs. So that ERA could definitely be a lot lower if you take away those 2 stars. That would definitely be a lot lower. But I mean, overall, 10 out of his 12 starts have been extremely, extremely good. I mean, he's just dominated. I mean, he won National League Pitcher of the Month for the month of April, or March/April. I mean, he's really becoming the ace of this team, and he's really showing why he's going to be around here for a long time. All right, and then we have the reliever of the year. So far, that is Amir Garrett. And Amir Garrett has also had a breakout season out of the Cincinnati Reds bullpen. He is big 6. I think he's 6'6". Yeah, big 6. No, 6'5". 27 years old, from Victorville, California. He was a 22nd round draft pick in the 2011 draft. He played college basketball at St. John's, but decided to instead of trying to make it to the NBA, he decided to come play for the Cincinnati Reds. And the Reds picked him up, took a chance on him in the 22nd round, and he signed, and he's been very, very good for us. When he first came to the big leagues back in 2017, actually, he was a starting pitcher, and his first few starts were solid. And then he had a hip injury, and he started getting hit really, really hard. And then last year, 2018, he came to spring training, and they had told him that he could compete for a bullpen spot, and he has just exceeded that. Last year, he did have a really good year out of the bullpen. He had a 4.29 ERA. He wore down in the last month or two of the year, so that ERA really got bumped up. But, I mean, he really didn't pitch that bad last year. I mean, he pitched for 4 or 5 months, really, really, really dominant. Big, tall lefty, just got a wipeout slider. I mean, this year, he's pitched in 27 games. He's got a 3-1 record. I mean, he's got a 1.96 ERA, 23 innings pitched, 36 strikeouts, and he's got a 1.17 whip. I mean, a lot of people have compared him to Andrew Miller. As we all know, he's really struggled. Andrew Miller has since coming to the Cardinals, but I mean, back in his quote-unquote prime days, I mean, he was one of the best relievers in all of baseball. And honestly, I mean, I see a lot of resemblance between Amir Garrett and Andrew Miller. I mean, Amir's been dominant. I mean, I mean, anytime you have a slider as good as his, along with a fastball that can touch the high 90s, I mean, you're going to be pretty dominant. I mean, there's no questions about it. I mean, this year he's striking out 14 batters per 9 innings pitched, and he's given up 0.7 home runs per 9 innings, only given up about 6.5 hits per 9, and his strikeout to walk ratio is about 3.5. I mean, he is literally just basically dominated. Up next, we're going to talk about my thoughts on the season so far. The starting rotation has been extremely good. As we know, the Reds the last few years have had a lot of problems with their starting rotation. I mean, they've broken all types of records, and not good records that you want to break, for like home runs allowed. I mean, it's just been a disaster. I mean, all these young pitchers have come up, and not a lot of them have performed, so they've either moved them to the bullpen or traded them or released them or sent them down to AAA. A lot of really just failures as far as that. I mean, it's not necessarily failures, but they could still be relievers in the majors. But I mean, at this point, our pitching's been so good this year that there's really no point in even wasting our time bringing them up at the moment. They just need to continue to figure things out down at the lower levels, and hopefully within the next whenever they can come up and hopefully contribute like we thought they could one day, maybe just out of the bullpen. But I mean, the rotation has been spot on. Castillo, as we already talked about, has been dominant. Sonny Gray has reunited with his pitching coach this year from Vanderbilt. He's also been very, very good. He's from Tennessee, so he's pretty close to home here, and he's got 11 games pitched. He's got a 2-4 record, which, as we know, starters, you can't really look at their records that much, but they're not a great indicator of how well they've pitched. He's got a 3.54 ERA. He's got 56 innings pitched, 64 strikeouts, and a 1.2 whip. And it's a dude that, outside of 1 year in New York, which was last year, he's pitched really, really good. In his entire career, he's got a 3.65 ERA over almost 1,000 innings pitched in his career. Um, he's 5 games above 500. I mean, he's had a really, really solid major league career, and he's only 29, and the Reds have him locked up for 3 more years after this. So they've got him for the rest of this year, and then 3 more years. So, I mean, he's going to be around here for a while in the Queen City. But yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. He's a fun guy to watch. He's an easy guy to root for. Then we've also got Tanner Roark, who came over from the Washington Nationals during the winter meetings, who's actually pitching tonight against his former team. And Tanner has always been kind of an innings eater in his career. Never really been a high strikeout guy. Just comes in, you know what you're going to get. Every time out, you're going to get 5 solid innings at least. And this year he's got 11 games pitched for us. He's got a 4-3 record. He's got a 3.2 ERA. He's pitched 56 innings, and he's got 59 strikeouts. He's got a 1.4 whip. Now, the thing is, he has walked a lot more guys than he normally does this year for whatever reason. I really don't know. It's kind of been surprising, but I mean, he's still pitched really, really good. I mean, especially for what we gave up for him. We gave up Tanner Rainey at the winter meetings, who's a high profile. He's got a really, really good fastball, but can reach north of 100 miles an hour, but just can't throw strikes very well. So last time I checked on him, he was pitching decent for the Nationals, I believe. I'll check right now. Yeah, he's got a 3.6 ERA and 5 innings pitched for the Nationals this year. So that's not terrible, but he hasn't really pitched much. But yeah, I mean, if he can throw strikes, then he's going to be a really, really good pitcher one day. Another guy that we got in the rotation is sorry guys, I'm blanking today. It's been a rough day. Is Tyler Mahle. Mahle has been a top prospect in the Reds organization for a few years. He came out a couple years ago, had small sample size, but pitched pretty good in 2017. Small sample size, I think it was only like 4 starts. Then last year he was rolling up until about the All-Star break, and then he started running into trouble. Looks like he kind of ran out of steam a little bit. I think a lot of people said he was injured, which he was. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think he actually went on the DL. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, and he started like changing what side of the rubber he was standing on, like mid-season and stuff. And he was just like a mess. And so, this offseason this offseason, and he worked on spring training. He added a splitter and then kind of tossed his curveball, or his slider, got rid of it, and then added a curveball to his repertoire. And so far, he's been pretty solid. He's got 11 games pitched. He's got a 2-5 record, 4.26 ERA, 61 innings pitched, 67 strikeouts, and a 1.26 whip. And I mean, he really has not walked like anybody this year. He's got, let's see how many walks he's got here. He's only got 14 walks in 61 innings, so I mean, he does not walk very many guys, and that was kind of his calling card coming up, was he was a control specialist. He never really has walked many guys. I mean, he dominated in the minor leagues, and then he got up here, and just his stuff was not playing well. So during the off season and during spring training, they talked about how he worked with Derek Johnson and David Bell and Lee Tunnel on just adding some new pitches to his repertoire. And yeah, I mean, so far it has worked out extremely well for him. And then to round out our rotation, we had Anthony DeSclafani, who's been a veteran, but he's 29 years old. He's from Freeland, New Jersey. He's really been